podcast. What up, what up, what up? This is your girl, T.Y. Lisa. Welcome back to Outside the Box podcast. Thank you for tuning in with your girl yet again. As you all know, that we are on the road to 40. As we have been going down and navigating this road, even now, things have been challenging. Like I said on last week, I don't know. Like, I'm not really excited. I thought I would be, but we definitely have another guest who will share her experience and what she went through when she turned 40. But I just want you guys to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, we still have merch. We are on Apple, Spotify, Google. We on the Facebooks, we on the YouTubes, we on the Instagrams. We are everywhere. Like, share, and subscribe. Trying to get those numbers up. Thank you for tuning in for the last 2 episodes. I do have a special guest here. Someone that actually have not been on the podcast. Maybe solo. Never. Not even in a group form? Oh, no. Okay.
I'm using my
I was about to say, we popping that cherry tonight, baby.
Correct.
I had the pleasure of meeting this beautiful young lady through Victor George Smith. Shout out to George. George, he has an anointing of bringing people together. Whether they stay together, I don't think that's his ministry. I just think he brings us together. He's like, Lord, have your way. I don't know, but he really does. He is anointed for that. But my God, we cannot stay together, right? But this is someone that George has introduced me to, and we develop, I guess, a little relation. Not a little. I don't want to say little, because when people say little, they be like, I don't want to make it smaller than what it is. Mm-hmm. But we develop a relationship, and I admire her. When I was actually picking the guests, like, you were the first person that came to mind, and I'm like, I didn't have Renata on at all yet, so I think she'll be perfect for this. But I feel like you have a lot to say. You have a lot of wisdom. You funny. You cute. Amen. Praise God. And I just thought that you would definitely bring something fresh to the conversation of 40. I feel like you embrace it. I feel like you walk with it with dignity and grace. I'm pretty sure it's kind of difficult and challenging at times, because you are a podcast host, you are a business owner, you are a mother, you are a Christian. Amen. Praise God. I'm pretty sure you're serving. I'm not sure if you singing. What you doing in church? You preach?
I'm the praise dancer. I'm the praise dancer.
Praise dancer. Come on.
Worship him. Praise him in a dance.
I love that. So she's all the things. But yeah, she is in her 40s. I'm not going to give them your age, but she is in her, in her 40s. And she don't even look it.
Ain't God good? He all right. I'm telling you, he'll keep it if you
mad. Willie. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Renata Del Carmen. Thank you for tuning in. Well, coming on the show. Thank you.
Thank you. That's such an amazing intro. I am so happy to be here. I love your show. You are so funny. I love the guests you have. Tara, you're hilarious. Yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
That's such a monumental time in your life.
I feel like I said before, I felt like you can teach me something, because I feel like the month of June, I celebrated the Mings, right? And we need to uplift them. Mm-hmm. Amen. Praise God. Even though sometimes they are the problem, but
child, don't ask the internet. The internet, I think men should stay off the internet for a little while, because there's no home for them there.
Yeah, but
they mad at y'all. What y'all did to them?
I have no idea, but yeah. So I celebrated the Mings in June, and I said, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta encourage yourself, right? You gotta like steal away and celebrate yourself. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do that the month of September. I'm gonna have guests on who I care about, who I love, who I admire, and I want them to pour into me, right? Rather me pouring out, because come on, sometimes you get dry, and I don't want to be like the woman at the well, Renata. Like I do not.
Mm-mm. And you have no reason to be. You have too many wonderful friends for to no.
You are right. So
It's an amazing
it
time in your life.
is, and everybody keeps telling me that. I feel like the few guests that came on and talked about their journey to 40, I felt like it was kind of similar in a sense. These two individuals are totally different though, but I think their experience to 40 during 40, they were they weren't going through the same thing, but I feel like their spirit was similar in a sense. And some people journeys are different than others. And what I was telling the guest last week was that my journey to 40 like has been rough. It feels like I'm grieving. It feels like a piece of
Mm.
me. I don't know if I'm necessarily grieving like my 30s, but something feels like it's dying because I'm sad, I'm sleepy, like I'm crying for no reason. Um
Do you feel like you're being forced to be an adult?
Maybe because I never wanted to be an adult.
I'm like, 40 could feel like, all right, you have very little grace, not from yourself or the
Mm-hmm.
Lord, but from people to not be sure, not be certain. Like it's like you're in your 40s, you should know better. You're in your 40s, you don't got that together yet. You're in your 40s. Like I feel like that's how society holds the decade of your 40s. And now in my 40s, when I think back to when I was younger and I would have to listen to people who were in their 40s, I'd be like, oh, you really didn't know what you were talking about. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. You were doing the best of what you got. I hear. Yep. Okay.
And it's funny you said that because I feel like sometimes we just put, and this has just, I feel like it's an ongoing theme. Like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because we feel like because we're 40, we supposed to be in our career, we're supposed to be married, have kids, have a hot, like all of that. And in all reality, like who said that? Who put that in our minds? Like,
Yeah. You know, it, so if you would ask me in my 20s where I would see myself in my 40s, I probably would have said all of those things. Like I would be married, I'm gonna have this, I would have established this, etc. Because at that time you're dreaming and evolving, and 40 seems so far away. It doesn't seem like it's right around the corner. And looking back, I'm like, where did all the time go? That happened so quickly, and now I'm here, and it doesn't necessarily look like what I expected it to look like. But I also, living in my 40s, I think I entered my 40s at the craziest and wildest time. Like I turned 40 in 2020, and so if 40 is where people enter a midlife crisis, I was entering it during a global pandemic. So it was just if reinventing was a time,
mm-hmm.
it was me entering my 40s.
That's crazy. So we was shut down during that year of year 40.
I was like, I have all these big plans. I am a holiday baby. My birthday is between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So the start of that year, it was like, oh, this year is going to be like doing it real big,
Mm-hmm.
bigger than what I thought. Bigger than what I expected. It was like, actually, you're gonna have a seat and contemplate all your life's choices because you're not gonna have nothing else to
That's
do.
so wild. So what did you do? Like you just was in the living room watching Versus?
That and like, um, so it it was a really difficult year for me. I think um, I had in that year repositioned myself in my career and shifted into leadership, which is a tricky time to shift into leadership when you're leading people through a pandemic that who knows what is happening. No one knows what's coming next, but you're tasked with not only managing your own home and life through something like that, but also the livelihoods of other people, adults and children. So I think at a time where I naturally would have been self-reflecting, I was more so focused out on my community and supporting my community and working in person, which a lot of people were home. And I would say most people started to go outside once the weather shifted, but I was at work while people were working remote, traveling the world, living their best lives because now they could work from anywhere. So I didn't necessarily have the same experience as a lot of people. So by the time my birthday came, I was ready to have a seat. I was tired. I was like, I've been wearing masks every day, testing for COVID every 5 minutes. I'm ready to have a seat. So my actual birthday was just like a quiet dinner and cake at home with like three people, including my daughter.
And the
Not
dog was there?
not what I expect, and the dog,
Yeah.
and Leo. Not what I expected, but I didn't have COVID. Till this day, I've never tested positive for COVID.
Wow, Renata. What?
Yeah. Working through the pandemic, hundreds of people traveling to and from work, never. And I had to test every week so that I could work in person.
Wow. That's funny because I was working too. So I was working at the hospital at the time, and I didn't get pregnant until 3 years, 2 years later, 2022, when I was pregnant with Yuri, and I got COVID. And I'm like, how on earth? Like, I'm working in the hospital, never got it, but I get pregnant. I was home majority of the time because I was sick. I honestly blame Reese because there's no way. Like, how did I get it home? Like, so you mentioned that you were working during the pandemic. So you were working in the school system. So you work in education, correct? Okay. Um. So you was working in administration, and so you never was a teacher, correct?
No, not in K to 12 education. So I initially went to school for fashion. I studied fashion design. And I at the time in my late teens, early 20s, really my whole life, I've been surrounded by fashion. My mother was is a nurse, but also was a seamstress. So she used to sew a lot of garments that I either wore to perform or she even made my prom dress. It was like a part of my life. So initially that was my goal to like go into fashion, not necessarily design. I really only studied design because I wanted to know enough about it to have access and the ability to go into any area and be knowledgeable in the industry. And I worked in so many different parts of the fashion industry. I worked in like retail, I worked as a wardrobe stylist, I worked on like major projects. So it was I've gotten that experience and I was like, okay, still not necessarily fulfilled in the way that felt like I was purposed to be. It was fun to do, and the entertainment industry is an interesting industry. to be a part of. Um, and then I became pregnant with my daughter, and that lifestyle of freelance and just being able to work 3 months here, 6 months here, not working here didn't seem responsible. And so I ended up taking a role at a fashion college in career development where I started to support students with their careers in fashion and helping them get internships and participating in New York Fashion Week, supporting them with their resumes to get them roles at various corporations, whether it's magazines, etc. So that started my career in education, and then I transitioned to like K to 12.
So never a teacher.
But
You didn't say, hey, you know what? Sign me up.
teaching it, my cousin, I would tell her all the time, like, you are the greatest. Like, teaching is a very, very special profession. Like, I know people put a lot on teachers, and I don't think people really understand what it means to be in a classroom with 30 children, 30 different minds, and to go in a room and get them on the same page every day and make sure that they are learning. That is a task, child. That's a task. That is a task.
Yeah, my hat goes off to him because I can't do it. I can't even like teach my own children. You know, like it's difficult with that. So
It's the patience, the repetition, right? You have to repeat yourself a lot. You have to be able to analyze the data and understand where you need to reteach a lesson because the kids are not getting it. You need to communicate with parents.
that's it. That's
And so that's why the administration, I enjoy doing all those things, interacting with students, teachers, parents, but standing in a classroom every day and repeating the same thing. And some people teach the same content for years, right? Years, 20, 30 years, they're teaching the same content, same third grade teacher, or it used
yeah,
to be like that. I don't necessarily know that it's like that anymore, but God bless the
absolutely. They
teachers.
need to get paid more. They need extra everything.
Absolutely.
Like school supplies,
Absolutely.
they're low on. And also like safety
They
issues. Like, can we talk
right.
about like all like these mass shootings in school, then fights in school with children who are very dangerous? Like, and what?
Because these children will put their hands on a teacher these days. I have had children physically assault me, and I can't say that, people see things on the internet and they're like, oh, it
Right.
couldn't have been me, or it could, da 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 da, and it's not that. I mean, there are certain circumstances where it's just like children are disrespectful, but I think it wasn't until I worked in education that I started to really understand that many people are not mentally well, and it's so taboo to like talk about it outside of education. Like, in education, it's a process for everything. And so you don't just say this student has this particular concern or this person has this particular concern. There's evaluation, there's assessments, and you follow this process for a certain amount of time to ensure that you have an accurate diagnosis. And teachers are not doing that, administrators are not doing that. That's an outside entity that's supporting them with that process. But you still have to
Yeah.
interact with that child daily while that process is being evaluated. And you don't just kick a student out, right? Like, they still deserve to learn, they still deserve to have educators who treat them equally, um, and care about them, because there are a lot of children who also at home are not getting the level of care and attention and concern that is necessary to support them into being a better human. So there's pray for your teachers. Pray for your teachers,
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely, absolutely. That's why I honestly try my hardest to really pour into my children so that they're not the ones that's, the clowns or, the disruptors in the classroom.
I tell my daughter all the time, like, if your teacher called me, that means they are fed up with talking to you. So you have very little leeway with how far this explanation is
Right,
about to go.
right. Because like you said, teachers do have patience, and I don't think they want to. And I don't know, I'm not a teacher, but I don't think they really want to get the parent involved unless they truly have to. Like, I know for my son, like he goes to like an art
Nope.
school, and I feel like they was getting. He had built up this. He had a situation in school, and it was like too. It was just too much for them. I had to get involved, which I get and understand. And I was telling him, I'm like, listen, they could have called me on day one. They called me on day like 29. Like, what is happening?
Well, there's also like, yes, they try to navigate it as much as they can without getting the parent involved, but there's also like on a level of priorities in like what do I speak to Talisa today, or do I speak to the mom of the student that has set the garbage can in the classroom on fire? It's like you got. I will call her next week because this is good right now. I'll call her next week, but your mother, I'm talking to her right now. Actually, call her from your cell phone because I want to make sure she answers.
That's funny, yo.
I mean, it is the day in a life.
Yeah,
Day in
it
a
is.
life.
So, wow, I didn't know that you went to school for fashion. That's crazy. We might gotta talk because Dink is interested in fashion. So
Awesome.
we'll see. We'll see. Because he's all over the place. But so you said you were
As
you celebrated
can
40
be.
during the pandemic, which sucks, right? So you was also working.
I mean, it was not great.
So like mentally and
So,
spiritually, where were I know physically like you were shut down, right? And then you said that you were working and it was nonstop and it was actually nice being at home. But like mentally, because I know a lot of people that went into like a depression and they just couldn't like get
mm,
out of it. Because they were so, and I think also fear kind of paralyzed them too, because they just didn't know what was gonna happen. So like turning 40, like was it like during all of that, was it like a rebirthing? Because when I was reading, and I'm not trying to be like super spiritual, like when I was reading about like 40, of course, like they gave me like the biblical significance of 40 and how like it represents like hardship and it represents spiritual growth. But it also said like after that there's always some type of like renewal. There's always a type of like rebirthing or a new beginning. So with that, you still in a pandemic the day after your birthday. Like, so mentally or spiritually, like, was there some type of like rebirthing in you or like,
um, I that is actually a better way to put it. I've been naming it as like I feel like I grew up. Um, and I say that because I had taken ownership over my life in a way that I don't think, as you name, other people felt would be possible for themselves at that time because no one knew what to expect in the pandemic. But I was like not going to let that time period cripple me as a person, my dreams, my aspirations, what I was working on outside of my 9 to 5. Like I have my brand, Renata Del Carmen. I have products, skincare, self-care essentials. And so I just started to pour my energy and time that I had outside of work into that, which is really how like Reimagine with Renata was born, because it was me figuring out what that was going to look like while every other business was trying to
Right.
figure out how to get sales and sell products and get stuff from overseas. And for me as a small business, I don't have Target money. I don't have like um, all the resources that many other businesses have to pivot so quickly. So I needed to take time to think that through. And luckily for me, and unfortunately for our community, there was a shift to focus on Black owned businesses due to what had happened to George Floyd, and a lot of the protests were happening. Like it just, it was a different era for anyone in business that was a Black owned, Black woman owned. A lot of opportunities opened up. And so it felt good to be able to position myself to where people are willing to pay attention or wanted to pay attention because of what was happening. At that, I'll leave it at that. At that time, that felt good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So you had the business like before the pandemic happened and a podcast?
absolutely. The podcast, yes, but it wasn't
Oh,
Reimagine
okay.
with Renata what it is now. In the past, I would do a lot of relationship conversations. I would just have random, like, events, whether it be in person or virtual. Actually, when the pandemic hit, we went to what was it, March, that most everything closed down. In April, I did a podcast with a few different women who were talking about what they were doing to shift their mindsets and figure life out now in the midst of that, which was really refreshing. And that just speaks more to how I was like spending that time focusing out and pouring into other people, because life was life and for all of us. Um, and churches were trying to figure out how to live stream. There was so much being figured out. I feel like perhaps I really didn't even have time to like be
Yeah.
sorrowful about the fact that that was happening in my
Yeah.
40th year. I think I feel it more now than I
Hmm.
did then.
That's interesting.
Mainly because now I'm a little bit more reflective of what my 40s has been, because I'm about to be 45, and I'm just like, oh Lord, that went by really quickly. Where are we now? What are our plans now? Like, where do I want to be
That's
at 50? Like, that sounds so insane to say. Like, I cannot, and honey, I have lived, okay? Y'all know, I have stories
yeah.
for days. Stories I will tell, and stories I'm taking to my grave. But I'm like, whoa, we getting up there. We getting up
I never
there.
thought, like you said, like earlier, you said like 40 was so far. We thought 40 was so far away. And I'm like, it really, it wasn't that far away. Like it really wasn't.
That far away. It wasn't that far away. And I think society, particularly men, I love y'all. I love y'all. I do. But the way y'all try to throw women away after they hit 30, 35
Yeah.
is insane. It's really
Well,
insane.
the TikToks have I think revived the black 40-year-old women cuz they got like a whole little section where they just in awe all of a sudden. I'm like, nigga, the person was 39 a year ago. They was this I mean they They were still looking good. Like, what happened? Like, what?
It's funny because when I'm out and men approach me, they never believe how old I am. But also, like, the men my age, I don't hear from them. I hear from way younger or much older. And I'm just like, when it comes to loving who loves you, what am I to do? What am I to
Are
do?
you out? Are you dating? Are you single, ready to mingle, or are you
I am single. I am ready to
okay?
mingle. I But the thing about dating is, and I saw someone say this the other day on the internet, and it really sat with me, is that like this conversation within the Black community about dating men and women and getting on the same page about dating relationships, marriage, and all, like we've been having the same conversation for years and we're not getting anywhere. And so I tried to have now step away from like that mindset and that thoughts of like we're not on
Yeah.
the same page, and just chalk it up to like that is how I determine what's for me and what's not for me, because who is aligned with me, we're not gonna have that
Hear
problem.
that. So is that something that like you've learned, like with time, with age, with experience? What's a lesson you learn about love like at this age?
Mm. I would say in my 40s, what I am learning, I think the thing you mentioned earlier that reminded me of like my shift to my 40s from my 30s is the grieving part. And I think I had to deal with grieving the experience I wanted to have in my 40s when it came to love and relationship, because I hadn't done certain things in my 30s. So, like, prior to the pandemic, if you'd asked me like something maybe like, do I want to have more children or those types of things, like grieving what that answer was, because now that answer has to be different, right? And your 40s, like, I'm not, you can have whatever you want, babe. You can have whatever your little heart desires. If the Lord has it for you, I'm with you. We gonna pray down heaven together. But for me to say, oh, I don't want to date a man with kids, or I don't know, like reality is that becomes very slim. The pickings become slim, especially if you are not into dating
Right.
outside your race. So I think what I'm learning now is to be more open to um, the possibilities, but not necessarily
Right.
anything.
Right. Hmm.
Right. And I think society tries to tell us we gotta take what we can get in our 40s as women, and I'm like, no, because
No.
no,
No.
just no, just no. And that's something in my
No.
40s.
I
No.
love that. Like we were the I think the first guest we talked a lot about boundaries in that conversation and
Mhm.
creating boundaries on all levels though, not just in relationships or
Correct.
friendships, but even with the family that God gave us. My God.
Correct. Oh, correct.
So how are
Oh,
you
yes.
balancing your boundaries in your 40s?
Oh, and it looks different
Mhm.
in every room, right? I think what I've learned in my 40s is that I need to master not overstepping my own boundaries with myself. I think it becomes harder to set boundaries with other people when you don't respect your own boundaries. So, for example, if I'm navigating a new health issue, right? Which is like being mindful of my sugar intake. And does that mean zero sugar? No. But if you know that you are not physically going to be well later on in life if you don't are not cognizant of what your sugar intake is, why are you overstepping? Like you can have some, but you don't need it all, right? Like when you don't respect your own boundary for yourself, and like your no isn't a sure no with yourself, and you say no, I'm not supposed to have a whole waffle with ice cream on top and Nutella, right? If you don't respect it,
Oh,
no, how you gonna, you're not built in the muscle to go outside and tell no. And actually we can do this much, but we're not gonna do that much, right? Even with my daughter, right? It's easy to give in to the kids at times. And I'm that mom that's like, I want to see her at her best. And so I could potentially go above and beyond or too much, right? To have it turn out for her, and setting that boundary there. With my mom, it's like, who could tell their
right,
mom no, right? Especially at this age, right? Maybe in late 20s, 30s, you could be like, no, not right now. But at this age where you start to transition to being a caregiver for your parents in a sense, like no is different. No, no is, those boundaries have to be adjusted. So it's always evolving, but I would say the firm foundation has to be with you, and how you set those boundaries for yourself and respect them for yourself. It becomes easier with everybody
I love
else.
that because I think that it starts with self, right? I think everything kind of starts with self. Like love, the way you love yourself, like how you love others. Of course, God first, but like you gotta love yourself and know yourself. And I also think like with you saying like balancing the boundaries for yourself, that's a form of self care. And I don't know if we
Right.
really pay attention to self care. Like self care is not mani petty. It can be. It can be a form.
It can be.
But like saying a hard no, like that is self care.
It is self-care. And my daughter reminds me of this. Like at times I'm like so proud of how I've spent time with her and supported her in her mental, emotional health. But when she checks me about me, I be like, dang,
Like
right.
hit her. What is your impulse?
Cause she'll say stuff. She'll say, like, if she sees me in the midst of a tussle, like not with a person, but just like something I'm deciding upon, or like I'm saying yes to something I really want to say no to, she'll just be like, but you set yourself up for this. I'll be like, dang, you right. You absolutely right. She like, don't complain about what you could have said no to. And she is a person that
Yeah.
sets a boundary. And I'm like, dang, I
Right.
taught her that. And she's using it on
Right. That's
me.
it. That's it.
She's using
Use
it
it on
on
someone
me.
else. Like, don't do that with me. Like,
Like, but I, even when I think about setting boundaries in the workplace, right? As a Black woman, setting boundaries, like that's an oxymoron for a lot of people. Like you don't get to set boundaries as a Black woman. So it's going to be extremely hard for us to do it if we don't like make it firm with ourselves and within our like loved ones and friend circles. Because when you go out into the world, You don't have a right to say you to help. You don't get to set a
Yeah.
boundary.
Mm-mm. We do.
Nobody want to hear
Mm-mm.
that though.
No. I wanted to say something to when you were talking about how like now our parents where we become their
Mm,
caretakers, right? My question to you is like, what is something that you necessarily didn't know like now at this age that no one really prepared you for? And I think my answer would be that. Like, I don't think no one really prepared me or even had a conversation like, yeah, you're gonna take care of your parent. Like, and I have a 3-year-old, Renata. I don't know if you know that. Like, I got a 3-year-old, 17-year-old. It's different. Yeah,
woo,
it's
child.
different tantrums because it's the teenage
Mhm.
tantrum, high school drama, and then you got the
Yeah,
toddler, pre-K 3 trying
yeah.
to touch and know and learn the world because you only see it as a 3-year-old. And then I have to care for my grandmother. And I always tell her, like,
Mm.
you're my third child. Like, I just, like, I gotta. She on Facebook, she on Instagram, she clicking stuff and putting
Oh,
up, like, emojis. I'm like,
child.
please don't do the wrong one because then, we gotta go and probably tussle with somebody. But, like, I don't think no one prepared me for that. Like, and honestly, I do it because I feel obligated to do it though. There's some people that just feel like it's a burden. Like my grandmother raised me, so
Yeah.
that is so important for me to give that back to her. Like I actually want
Yeah.
her to move in with me, and I know that could be a lot, but she's super duper independent. She don't want to live with us. So no one prepared me for that. She don't. She told me, she was like, I like my apartment. It's only me. I cook when I want to. I clean when I want to. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to live with you.
I love that for her. She's blessed. A lot of people don't have
Yeah.
that option.
So
That's
I'm
good.
letting her rock until like, stuff shift. But like what I forgot the question. It was rolling too. Dang.
What people
Yes.
hadn't prepared me for. Um, you know what is interesting about that question? I would say I don't necessarily know if I didn't feel prepared to the changing of the guards, so to speak. Um, but I think having so many family members in the medical field and no one telling me about perimenopause, I'm confused. I'm like, well, all the things y'all want to talk about, y'all don't want to talk about that.
Cancer. Y'all talking
Y'all
about
work
all
in
this
the medical
stuff, but y'all ain't
field.
talking about the thing that's gonna create what?
But this is not the problem with Christians, but this is a Christian lifestyle because they be like you and they Caribbean. You're not calling out a sickness by yourself. It's literally it's not a, it's like natural causes. Help me here. I know what's the thing. Y'all come up with all sorts of thing for talk about and claim. Don't claim the thing. My Lord Almighty, He is powerful. You will make it without all of that. If the doctor prescribe, you don't. What a doctor prescribing you, you don't need that. It's just like,
Mm-mm.
okay, all right, okay. So I'm just supposed to go through
Right.
this like my whole body is hot. Like what?
Supposed
Just
to just say
okay.
a prayer, Renata. That's it. What?
My gut health. Okay, okay. Drink. I can tell you what for drink. Buy this leaf and drink this thing, and then when you get up, make sure you drink. I'm just like okay, but you tell me now. You didn't want to prepare. Okay. The way you told me to eat my carrots so that my eyes would be good, even though all of y'all wear glasses. Okay. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. But yeah, I wish I would have been
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
prepared.
One of the questions was
Like
what is a 40 and over problem that you didn't see coming? So I'm assuming it's this because
Yeah. So like I think in my mind, I mean, obviously I know I'm aging. I'm a woman. I understand that, right? I know that things happen in this time, but I kind of felt the same way when I was younger, right? Because I started my menstrual cycle at 10 years old. What 10-year-old wants to deal with their menstrual cycle, right? So you kind of learn these things, you know what's going to happen. I think it is the details of
Yeah.
the experience of it, of what it feels like, the mental and emotional changes and gaps. Like nobody tells you about brain fog. Nobody tells you about brain fog, but they'll talk about you when
Mhm.
you can't put your finger on things, when you can't articulate things, when you can't remember words. They'd be like, "You all right?" Nobody wanted to tell you about the brain fog though.
So Tyra's going through
Yeah.
that whole perimenopause, and I mean, you've seen her on the podcast. She is crazy. So like when we have our conversations, it's always and she always yelling, and I'm like, Tyra, like calm down. I'm hot. My body ache. I can't remember. Like, and she's explaining this to her Caribbean husband, and of course he's like, you're okay. No, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not.
This is the thing. This is the
So she
thing.
got
Like,
the black girl vitamins now. She just ordered on some.
oh,
She's not on TikTok, but she ordered them somebody on Instagram, and she was like, "I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna take them for like a month, and I'm gonna let you know because we got to get you ready." And I'm
don't
like,
let
I
her.
haven't felt anything yet, so let me knock on
Um,
wood.
yeah, knock on wood. I can't. It's weird because I've started to feel a shift in my cycle and different things around my late 30s, but I can't tell you whether that was perimenopause or stress because I was in a stressful work environment through the pandemic, stressful work environment. So a lot of it could have easily been stress, and I thought it was perimenopause, but I know now just from my age that I'm obviously experiencing
Yeah,
perimenopause.
I'm not looking forward to that. You know, like I'm not saying, "Hey, sign me up," because
Yeah, I think that not knowing what to expect and the combination of it happening and accepting that this is a shift in life could feel a little like, hmm. But it's all in your interpretation of it, right? Like throw a perimenopause
that's
party.
like,
We
and bring some
perimenopausal.
ice from bring our fans. Like, we got something that's gonna cool us down or something.
Because there is a remnant that appreciates those fans. You hear? They appreciate those fans. They be like, "When we doing boots on the ground, because I got my fan. I see you, mother. I see you.
Them electronic
I
things,
see
those
you."
are booming now. Everybody got one.
A friend has one that you can hold, and also it bends, and
Mm-hmm.
you can sit it on the table. I said, I can't. I can't. I'm not
It's
there yet.
crazy.
I'm
Now,
not
when the
there
men
yet.
start
Right.
having the fans, we gotta have a conversation. I don't know if the girls are. Do they? I know you got some friends. Do they have the fans yet?
I mean, well, they did at
Oh, okay,
Beyonce
okay, yeah.
concert.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
yeah. That's normal. So,
Yeah.
um, oh yeah. So the period. So is the perimenopause is preparing you for menopause. So you gonna go
Hmm.
through the peri part of it, and then it's supposed to get worse with the real deal.
That's my understanding, but also perimenopause, so from what I'm learning, does not look the same every day for everybody. So it could be hot flashes or it could be no hot flashes at all. It could be brain fog. It could be no brain fog. It could be a combination of all those things, right? And it's up to your body. I think um, these are the signs, and you could also have irregular cycles, but according to a doctor I was watching the other day, I forget her name, once you have not had your cycle for a full year, you can consider that you have transitioned into menopause.
My God. It's like on one end you're looking forward to that, but then on the other end you like all the other things that comes with it. Women can't catch a women can't catch a break.
Like, but that's it, and that's where I'm like,
Yo.
is that part of, because we hear all of this about women telling women like who they should be or what they should look like, how they can be more womanly, more attractive, more this. Does anyone tell a man anything about this? Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, and three things I can guarantee is I am not pushing no unnecessary wheelchairs. When the last time you went to your PCP? When the last time you had your blood work taken? When was the last time you had colonoscopy? Like, because if I have to, you got it too. You have to too.
And yeah, my grandmother always said that because I've been trying to like hook her up with someone, and she's like, yeah, I told her I was gonna put her on Christian Mingle, and I was like, you know what, the Saints is horny, and I don't want my grandmother doing it. So my grandmother was like, listen, he gotta walk up straight, like he has to.
Oh, so she want a
She told me,
companion.
I don't know if she do, but she did tell me like what she would look for. Like he has to be tall, but he can't be like, in a wheelchair because she can't do that. Gotta have his own pension, his own car, his own place. Even if it's in an elderly building, she would consider that.
Smart.
Own health care because he can't get on hers. And it was something else. I was like, well, does looks matter?
That's important.
She was like, I don't really care. At this point, like he gotta be something to look at, but that's not important. All the other stuff is important. Pension is very important to her. So
I want to do, I can't, like, I mean, I care about, I need to be attracted to you now. Do I need to be attracted to you when, that's tricky because,
my grandmother 82.
a lot of different things could annoy you about a person. Like, if you look across the table and you don't like the way they chew their food.
And if you got big gums, we talked about big gums on the episode, and Renata, I can't. Because we talked about it because somebody had a gum. So serious. They had a gum reduction. I didn't know you could do that. This lady had a gum reduction.
That cost, because the basic necessities at the dentist are expensive. You need a little
like
cavity fill, root canal. They want your life savings. So how much is a gum reduction?
Whatever Tamar bill was, I know that was sky high. Like I know, cause how are gums coming out? Like, I mean, not gums, teeth. You know what? That's a whole nother podcast because I don't get it. How have teeth just falling out like that? Like teeth from.
She said she woke up like that. I'm just trying to figure out why no one has launched an investigation into what happened with her, because we would have needed every detective on the case.
Renata, we're going to play this real quick game and we're going to get out this way because I can't do it. But I know her bill was sky high. I know it. I had braces back in the day. And back in the day, it was expensive. Just back in the day.
Correct. Because I had to get Priscilla braces.
And insurance ain't covering.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back then insurance was like, nah, that's cosmetic. We ain't covering that. You want to look
Right.
cute, like,
Right. And you will pay. I they when forget what year that was. Like dentistry was like the number one paying career field to go into. I was like, yeah, I believe it because they charge your whole life.
yeah. Dink had his wisdom teeth pulled. I'm like, you can't do two. Like, you gotta do it. Can I put a little bit on it? Like, do you got a payment plan?
Insane. Insane.
Okay, we're gonna do this rapid fire 40 edition. Okay.
Ooh.
So this or that, or yeah, this or that. Early night in or late night out?
Oh, I'm a
You do
late
look
night
like
out. And people would not believe that, but yes, I like to be
ooh.
upset. Even though I'm inside a lot, I like to be
I be
outside.
seeing your posts. I'm like, yo, she living her best life. Yo. It looks
Really?
so
That's how you feel?
luxurious. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it looks like you got money. I'm just say it. Like,
That makes sense. The types of communication I get, that would make sense. But baby, y'all have to know that I work hard. I
yeah.
work very
So you got
hard.
to play hard. So I get it. Spanx or sweatpants?
Sweatpants. I cannot take all that
Yeah,
tight situation
I
sucking
know.
me in.
Girls trip
Mm-mm.
or solo staycation?
I'm gonna have to say solo staycation. Sorry to my friends. Yeah, a lot of them probably wouldn't be surprised because I'm always the one that never makes it out the group chat onto the trip. So they probably are not surprised about that.
So if you do a girls trip, is it like, are you like the adventurous type? Do you like the sightsee, historic buff? Like, or you just like, you know what? Let's just lay by the pool, have a drink, relax.
I like to explore depending on where we are. Like I would do if it's a place I've never been, I definitely
Okay,
want to explore. If it's a familiar place or a resort scenario, I'm cool by the
I
pool.
like that. So solo staycation, like where are you staying? You gonna stay in Brooklyn, or are you going to
So that's a good question. For a solo staycation, I like to like rent hotel rooms in like luxurious
like
hotels in the city.
favor? Like you just got it.
The, the way they cater to you, that's my favorite thing sometimes when I have to like go out of town for business or something. I love just
Yeah.
chilling in the hotel and like room service and knowing I don't have to clean up after myself. I could just, oh, I love that so much. Oh, I love it.
Wine or ginger ale?
And- Mm, I'm a ginger ale. That's the only soda I drink. So I'm a pick ginger ale, but I'll have a sip of wine.
Um,
Jesus ain't do
Fancy heels
nothing.
or comfy sneakers?
Mm, fancy heels. I'm short, so I like heels.
Yo, I didn't know you was that short. Like when I met you, I'm like, Nada is short. She got that. She dragging that wagon, but she is short. You hear me?
I'm so short. It's so bad.
I was gonna ask. So you wearing like the six heels, the 6 inch shoes? Like,
I
yo,
love them.
that's
I love
crazy.
them.
I'm still wearing the meows, you know, getting the kittens.
There was a point in my life. I mean, that also comes with
Yeah.
like fashion, how I was raised. Like there was a point in my life where I didn't even own sneakers.
So were you were
I
raised in church?
probably yes, but not in a Pentecostal church. So not in the way that I church
Oh,
as an
okay.
adult.
Yeah, we gonna get back to that.
Mhm.
Netflix binge or Sunday nap?
Oh, I'll do Netflix binge,
Talking on the phone or texting?
especially love. Oh, I'm a text girl. I don't know.
You like I talk all day. Like
All day. And I can have multiple conversations texting. I can't do the same on the phone.
dressing up or keeping it simple.
Dress it up.
You fly.
I think working in education has caused me to keep it simple only because like it becomes a distraction at work. Like it not as a colleague, but like with children, because that's just another thing they want to stop and talk about. Go to class. Go to class.
It's funny
Mhm.
because when I did the career day, one of the kids was like, "Yeah, how much money you made? Because you got like that nice watch." And I was like,
Yeah,
"What?"
yeah,
Totally forgot
yes.
about it.
They are into they are into the details. No, go to
Number one
class.
question, by the way, like everybody wanted to know how much I made. I'm like, yo,
Yes,
that is important to kids.
very much so.
Because I said so, or do what you want.
Hmm. Wow, this should be rapid.
Okay.
Do what you want.
Okay. Saving money or spending it guilt free?
Ooh, can I
You
spend it
can,
guilt free?
but I don't know.
Because my lord, we can't take it
No, we
with us.
can't. Okay. New experiences or sticking to what you know.
New experiences.
Younger friends or a seasoned circle.
Mm. Younger friends.
Really? I think no one picked that.
Yeah. The and this probably comes from the fact that I do have a season circle and younger friends, but I find that the season circle is harder to introduce them to new things.
Yeah. Because they like, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Tradition. They love tradition, which is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful and I think it's necessary, but it's difficult to introduce them to new things.
Okay. Dancing all night or leaving after two songs.
Oh, dance all night.
Okay. Pat, toot it
Dance
up.
all
Beauty
night.
sleep or all night conversations.
If I like all night
Yeah.
conversations, if I like you, I'll
Okay.
stay up.
Shopping online or wandering Target for hours.
Shopping online.
It's so easy.
That and also like I could go to so many different stores.
That's true.
Right. I'll have to look for parking or nothing.
Last one, R&B or gospel.
Mm. Gosh, man, that's such a hard one. Gospel.
I had Pastor Camille up here. She said R&B.
You know, I saw part of that episode. So my I I thought R&B, I was like,
Right.
today's R&B gospel. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
gospel.
true. That is true. Okay, so 40s,
Mm-hmm.
your spiritual walk. So you said that you was raised in and going to church, but not the way you go to church today. What were you raised in?
So I have a large family. My grandmother on my mother's side had 9 kids. I have a lot of cousins, but my family worship differently. So I have some family that's 7-day Adventist. I have family that is Episcopalian, Pentecostal, Baptist, etc. And because my mom worked in as a nurse and in a hospital, she had crazy shifts. I would be with family often. So I would go to whatever church
Oh,
depending on who was babysitting me, right? And then um with my mom, I also went to a Lutheran elementary school at one point. So it was kind of like I saw all of the Catholic. It was just like, all right, is it the same God? That's all I want to know. Is it the same Lord and
yeah,
Savior Jesus Christ?
right.
Confirm it for me. So after a while, I was just like, I don't know. But as an adult, I chose Pentecostal church, and that's how I raised
Okay.
my daughter. Mhm.
What is the most unexpected lesson about being in your 40s that you've learned through your faith?
Um, that's a good question. I would have to say that it I think when we go through certain trials and tribulations, it causes us to take a look at a scenario, our life, our circle, or whatever, and shift and pivot. And I think in my 40s, what I'm realizing through my faith, as I'm actually currently redoing a Bible plan in 365 days. And I'm looking at things differently, but this one thing is sitting with me right now is that things don't necessarily have to be negative or bad for you to pivot. There are times where things can be going really well and God is still asking you to pivot. Um, and that is an interesting lesson
Are you going through that like right now?
in obedience. Um,
Okay.
yeah, in a sense. I believe the season that I am enjoying or was enjoying, I'm enjoying it, is over and it's time to pivot. And while we always want all the answers, but God,
Yeah.
why, but God, when, but God, who, but God, where, but God, how, and it's really like faith is just asking you to trust and move. And so that's the thing that I'm like tussling with a little bit.
Yeah, I've been going through something similar, and I think for me it's like especially with my career, because healthcare is great and there's a lot of money in it, but it's not my passion. It's not my love. It's not. I do not wake up and say, "Hey, I can't wait to go to my job." And I'm grateful, right? I'm grateful for my job and all the accomplishments I've made and everything that I've done in healthcare for the last, I don't know, 13, 14 years. But it's time to, like you said, it's time to pivot. And I started to like do that woe is me. Like, I went to school for healthcare, and how am I now about to be 40 and I'm about to shift careers? Because you can. Like, you absolutely can. Like, it's not over for you just because you at this age. I think it's actually probably greater
Yeah.
because now you have more experience, like you have more wisdom, like you know you're not gonna just like blow your money off, or you're gonna take things more serious now. Even if you have to go back to school, like you're gonna look for scholarships. Like, so just, welcome it. And I think sometimes it's just because it's the unknown too, you just don't know. And you go back to why
Mhm.
God, like, ah.
No. Yeah, that resonates a lot because they're, to your point, right? Like at this age, you think like you're supposed to settle down, and settle down means like not shifting things up too much. But I have experienced, like I've done, I have lived. Oh my God, I have lived, and I guess I felt like I was doing the right thing as a mom to like create stability for my daughter and do all these things. And even now I
Yeah.
have that mindset a bit. She's in college, college tuition. And it's like, what am I not experiencing because I'm holding on to this idea of stability and this idea of like being settled and a responsible 40-year-old. But to your point, grateful. I mean, 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs in the last
Yeah.
6, 7 months. And I'm grateful to be gainfully employed. I'm grateful to have a support system that is real, that's like encouraging whatever I choose, right? Whether it's my business or my full-time job there. But I think there's also this piece where people in my circle are like frustrated because they know my potential, they know what I can do, but I'm sitting in this space of like
Yeah.
safe.
Ah, that's me.
Mhm.
And the frustrated friend is Tara, and she just gotta hear it.
Hi, Tara. Turn up the volume,
It's up.
Tara.
Like, I was just talking to her earlier because we're preparing for my birthday, and she's like, "Well, did you do this? And did you?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like, I got this. Well, you don't. I know you don't care about that details. It's about that details. And I'm like, Tyra, at this point, I want to go to Africa. Like, I want to cancel this whole thing and go to Africa because that was gonna be my trip. And she's like, "No,
Mm,
this is your dream. You're creating something for
yeah,
you. Like, and you need to do it. And you're going to do it. But it's always that friend that you
yes.
just they right, but you don't want to tell them they right. Like, stand just because you got your life.
That such a blessing to have someone in your life that is pushing you towards your greatness. That's such a blessing because there are so many people that sitting back like, hmm, hmm. Go, Tara. We love you and appreciate you.
So with that, like, you have a support group, you have friends, you have family, you have a big family. Um, like, how do
Mm.
you make space for friends in this stage of life? Whether they're old friends, new
Well,
friends, or
um, I am, that has the friends are evolving, and like as you know, like how we have come together through George, and um friends are evolving, and what I would say is difficult to maintain all of the friendships. um what has been tricky is maintaining the friendships with my married friends, and simply because we are just on different paths in life, and it's not because they're married, but it's because of the way we're living life. So I don't have married friends that are pursuing
yeah,
entrepreneurship, and so like the risks I'm willing to take, or things I'm willing to do is just not where they are, because in their mind they're like, no, we're settled, we're building this, we're making sure our family has this. And meanwhile, I'm like, we got to spend it all because we need to, you know what I mean? It's just like that. And while friends love you and they mean well, the advice is not always rooted in what God's plan is for you. And I think I've started to gravitate towards people who understand my mission better and understand my mission more, but also are giving me grace to like work through that and fulfill that and know like I'm not going to be at every dinner. I'm not going to be at every like major life moment. Um, but also I am a person that does a lot of pouring and has to set clear boundaries. So I'm also personally working through that, right? Is this a moment where I get to honor my own boundary and honor myself, or am I being a horrible friend because I haven't participated in this scenario that really means a lot to my friend? And while a lot of things can be resolved with honest and authentic communication, I think that also requires a level of emotional intelligence that not everyone has, right? So if I am trying to maintain this friendship and communicate, like, this is where I am, this is what I'm experiencing, I love you, I support you, I would love to be, or I would love to be a part of this, and is seen, it's not taken well, it's like, is this friendship for me? We need a friendship check-in, right? Is this friendship for me? And I'm not saying that disagreements means ending a friendship, but I think in your 40s, you realistically have to do friendship check-ins, whether it is your personal reflection or like an actual conversation with your friend. Like, do you feel like we are experiencing life together in the way you envision our friendship? And see where it goes from there. And honestly, I think if you aren't able to have those conversations with friends, then is it your friend?
Yeah.
Are y'all really friends?
That is so good, Renata. Oh my God. Because I feel like I've said this a lot on the podcast, especially when me and Tara was doing our little segment. Um, like when we were younger, you know, we will get offended because our friend didn't come to our birthday party. And we just in the club. We ain't doing nothing crazy. Like we just in the club and you didn't come to the club to my, it was my, like you get all up in arms about this and now it's like with Tyra, like she was the married friend in the group and we was still in the streets. Mm-hmm. And Tyra was trying to be in the streets, not like that, but like Tyra was just trying to be, you know, she was just trying to, right, a friend. Knowing that that was going to cause friction in her home. And of course, when you're younger, you like, oh, you whack, like you gonna sit up here and go with that man told you to go, like all of that, because we single, we done, we ain't going home to nobody like that. Like she got 2 kids, we don't know. So now when I got married, I'm like, that dang on Tyra was right. Like I can't go everywhere. Like even though I want to, I gotta cook, clean, and make those tacos for that man and them kids. And everybody want marriage, and marriage is beautiful. It is a holy matrimony, but it's sacrifice. So that means you may not be able to hang out with your friends all day, all night like you did prior. Like, and I think with that, now that we're older, because our relationship, our friendship has evolved. I will say that. Like, I've been married for 7 years, but I've been her friend for 30 plus years. I have a lot of experience with her. Oh my God. So our friendship has evolved and we're to the point where if she can't make it, she can't make it. Like, right. I'm okay. Like, I'm not going to be upset. I understand because I know. And even if, like you said, like sometimes it's just being alone. You don't even have plans. It's just, I just don't have it. I don't have it in me.
No mental capacity. But there's also this piece, right? And this has happened very seldom. And it's not to take shots at anybody in my life. I'm just saying I've never experienced this. I've rarely had people ask me, like, are you okay? If I didn't show up, if I didn't like participate in a thing that they were expecting, no one ever said, like, Renata didn't come. Like, is everything okay? Are you okay? Like, you know what I mean? I expected you, but you didn't. Or I was hoping that you would, but it didn't happen. I just want to make sure you're okay. It's always like, why you didn't come? You not, like, so, and I think there's a part of me that in my 40s are realizing we all understand, we say it all the time, you never know what people are going through. But I think in my 40s, I'm realizing as a single parent, like, I am incredibly blessed, right? I've experienced a lot in my life and the Lord has brought me through so much. So I can only imagine what other people are experiencing that they don't tell me about. And my experience make me want to ask others, like, are you okay? Like, is everything good with you? And if I am able, I will support or find the support. Because I the res I am resourceful. I don't have all the resources, but I will find. I know somebody who can help us, and we're gonna figure it out, right? So I think that's where I come from. In most times, I'm more compassionate and empathetic now. My hope is that I'm attracting the same type of people in my life.
Yeah. It's important. It's important. And I think like as we evolve, like the things that we are attached to should evolve. Marriage, friendship, parenting, like whatever it is, being a business owner. Like you gotta go with the times. Like you gotta go with what's moving. And, to feel like I'm evolving and you're not. Honestly, that makes me sad.
That's It's really hard, and that's another that is like a personal boundary I had to set of like, Renata, I know you want everybody to be there and I know you want everyone to go, but everybody do, everybody is not.
No.
And you're talking to someone like I before we got on this call, I was texting with a friend that I've had. We've been friends since sixth grade. We live in different states, and it's like we are. So I have a hard time not comparing other relationships to that, but everybody's not her, right? And everybody doesn't have the same experiences that we have had individually and collectively. Like, I asked my mother to let her come live with us when we were in middle school so she could get to school on time because her family had moved to a different part of town. And so, like, we have a different type of relationship. So to expect someone to come into my life and gel with me in the way that she does is unfair. But like, it's also about like education. And I'm not talking about like formal education, but just like how are you consuming information that allows you to evolve as a person? The T is in the algorithm right now. I know what's happening in your world depending on what you send me in my
That's
DMs.
true.
Whatever you share with me from the
That's
internet, I
true,
know
Renata.
what's
Because
going
if
on
I
with
send you
you.
anything, it might be about stugs, crackheads, drug dealers. That's what's in my algorithm.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious because I was gonna post on Threads some point, and I probably will still post it. At some point, we are going to have to discuss the impact of the crack epidemic. Y'all can ignore it if you want to. Y'all keep talking about that COVID vaccine and polio and measles, mumps, rubella. Let's go on and talk about that crack epidemic.
I told Pastor Camille that 40 years ago, our parents were on crack. Okay? Like, and
On
we are the
crack.
product. Like,
Crack. Have you seen? I'm gonna send you the link to his documentary
okay.
on Netflix. And I showed it to Priscilla. I made her watch it sitting next to me. In one scene, there was this woman selling her baby for $20. Priscilla turned to me like, I said,
Continue. Like,
because this is what they're not talking about on that internet.
that was a wild
Okay.
time. Like, I remember
Wow.
because
Not
we lived in the
able.
projects at that time, and at this, like, the projects was like family. It was community. Everybody knew everybody. You go to their house, you in trouble, the neighbor beating you, and then going to tell your mama I beat her because she was being bad, and then you get another beating from your mother. So we
Correct.
was raised in that community, and I just remember, like, it got really bad because they started to actually sell, like, in that area, and my grandmother's like, yo, we got to get out of here. Like, I love it. I love everything that it has gave us. But, like, at right now, there's no way. There's no way we're going to survive this. Like,
It's hard. Look. I remember a lot of things about that time as a latchkey kid and all the rules and regulations around who you could open the door for, who you can't open the door for. And it was and then not just our community, which is what I appreciate about that documentary, because it really shows how much it impacted the country, the world. Like,
yeah.
it's really insane. Even seeing a clip the other day of Oprah and Whitney's interview and how openly they were talking about, I'm like, yo, this would be so insane right now, this
It'd
conversation
be.
with Oprah asking Whitney if she did crack. Like,
Man, I'm trying to get my own show. I'm trying to ask those questions, though, Renata. I want to know. Like, the stud, I'm trying to get a stud up here so I can interview her because I want to know. I feel like they're really, really interesting human beings because they go through a transitional phase, like, literally, and I want to know why.
I, I might know one who might be willing to be.
So I'm gonna have jokes too, so I don't want to one
I,
that's gonna be like sensitive. So
I don't know. I don't know how that. Well,
okay, we'll
maybe. I
talk
don't know.
offline.
I,
I'm trying to
yeah.
interview one because I'm
That's like, I think you have to be able to laugh at yourself. Like, no matter who you are, what lifestyle you choose, you should be able to laugh at yourself. But I look
me
forward to
too.
that episode.
I have, you know what? Someone did recommend me to one. I don't know if that sounds good or not, but like I never reached out to her. But I'm gonna reach out after we do this and all of that. Um, yeah, because I got some questions and I want to know. I feel like the people want to know too. Like, what is going on? Like, because I also want to know why this is totally has nothing to do with 4D. Like, can a stud and another stud like date? Because you got the stud and then you got like the pretty girl, like the girly girl. Like,
Mhm.
can two studs go together? Because that don't make sense to me. If that's the case,
I mean,
are there rules?
have I seen that? Because I know a lot of relationships. I haven't
Hmm.
seen two studs together unless they like hanging out with each other, not in relationship. But you never know. You never know what's going on behind closed doors. No,
So two more questions, and
never.
I'm gonna be out. You talked about you're a business owner, you're a praise dancer, amen, praise God. You're a podcast host. You are a mother to one child.
Mhm.
Is there one dream that you still want to chase in your 40s with being still having that under your belt?
Oh, one dream I want to chase in my 40s. Hmm. So I I have done, I say this all the time without saying what I've done. Um, I've acted, danced, performed a lot in my early teens, 20s, even 30s. And I would like to write an autobiography and turn it into a film. I don't necessarily know that I want to act in this film, but I'm definitely looking for an
Okay.
Oscar. Looking for an Oscar.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because I refuse to believe that my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ would allow me to go through
Mm-mm.
that for not. It
Mm-mm.
can't be. It can't be.
Just the
It
little
can't be.
stories that you've given on the podcast got me interested because what?
It can't be. People would never believe, like never believe.
All right, we're gonna put that in the atmosphere. Gotta do it. The book and the film. What?
Amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is a piece of advice that you can give to me as I'm about to turn 40 on September 26th? Out of all the things that we talked about, or just something new and refreshing, something that you might have experienced, even the little stuff that I shared about like what I'm going through, like what piece of advice would you give me personally?
Mm. Based on what I know about you, what I've experienced of you and your family and your circle, I would say that are you have positioned yourself in a way that is unique and special and necessary to the world. And you are not in a place where you have to prove who you are and prove what you're capable of. You're in a place where you get to explore whatever it is that you want and accomplish it because you are talented and you are amazing and you are great. So you should move forward with the idea that whatever you are choosing, you are worthy of simply because you exist.
I'm trying not to cry. So
Hi, you're
thank you.
amazing. You are
It's just I'm
amazing.
having a really tough time. And everybody's like, it's because you're turning 40. I don't know if it's I don't wanna say it's that. I think it's I hate to say coincidence because I don't believe in coincidence, but like it just so happened to be around my 40th birthday, but I'm just not that happy like right now.
And you get to be with that feeling. And I'm not saying that lean into unhappiness. I'm saying you get to experience this transition and come out on the other side of it with something that the world is going to need. And I think I've had to just I've had to go through so much in my life to get to where I am. And it was easy for me to look back and think like, dang, I wish I could have done this particular part of my life at this particular age. Or I wish I could have had this time to do this so that by the time I got here, I was experiencing this. And when I start to think about it that way, it makes me unhappy because I feel like I missed out on something or I feel like I haven't done enough to set myself up to be in a different position. Um, it is so easy to fall into that because of how much access we have to other people's lives, what we see on the internet, or what looks great on the internet. And I think it just not cripples us, but slows us down. Because I've had to, in the past, not even year, probably in the past 3 or 4 months, I've had to learn how to turn that into energy to fuel whatever I'm working on. I've had this like frustration of single motherhood, the responsibility of like navigating a world where my daughter feels like she is not putting a strain on me by needing my support for her to go through college. But also feeling like I need to step away a little bit as a parent and allow her to become an adult. But also like she doesn't have the support of her father. So how do I get to step away? And that wasn't really my choice, really kind of, all these different things. I wish I would have been married and but then I have a cousin who's was married, 3 kids, and her husband passed away from cancer. So we don't really get to choose. We get to experience and then make the best of what it is. So I don't know what is making you feel unhappy, but I know there's a world waiting for you to bring them all that joy that you bring us all the time. And so we get to figure it out, and you don't have to figure it out alone. You have Tara, you have me, you have a ton of other people that are rooting for you, that are here to support you and make ways for you to succeed. And I know you know that, but sometimes we need to hear it again and again and again and again. So we'll be here to tell you again and again and again how amazing you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything you would like to say to me before I mean, you just actually poured into me, but just in general, is there anything else you would like to share, say? I'm done.
I appreciate you for creating this space. I probably needed this conversation more than I even knew. I think I, I'm so appreciative of people who are so thoughtful about what they pour out into society. There's so much ugly out there right now. So I appreciate you for this time and this space and this conversation. And I'm so excited for you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for coming on. I know you are a busy woman and you have a lot of hats that you wear. um, but I'm glad that you came on, and I appreciate the conversation, the wisdom, the laughter, and all that came with this conversation. Hoping to do it again with you to talk, not to talk about this, but talk about other things. Yes, and getting
Anytime.
your podcast back.
Yeah, you know what? This was a sign because my furry friends were quiet the entire
Wow.
time, and
See?
I'm so shocked and so grateful. They were like, "Oh, she's on a pod. We should be quiet, I guess." That's a sign that I can actually host one.
Are you still doing it like in person, like you had the setup?
Well, I would like to, but it costs. So when I do that, I want to
Mm-hmm.
have guests as much as possible. And we're in New York
Yeah.
City, so it's tricky for a lot of people. But I will absolutely
Yeah.
let you know if I know you need enough advance notice because I actually love
Yeah.
in-person
Yeah.
podcasts
It's
more.
so much fun. I'm trying to do
Mhm.
something too, but like our house is big, but it's not big. And it's no space. Like we don't have an extra room, unfortunately. Like Yuri took the last room. So and we don't have a finished basement. So I'm like, dang, where can I like go and just set up and people actually come and talk to me? But God will make a way, he will do it.
And
Like you said, the studios are super duper expensive. I was looking into that too. I'm like, dang, for an hour?
the
Like,
Yeah, the one I use is like 125 an hour. for one camera. That's not even like
Right.
getting different
Right.
angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you again for coming on. Thank you guys for tuning in with your girl. Like, share, and subscribe. Remember, we are talking 40 all month long. And I'm having fun with this. I am like really learning. And it's actually giving me like some upbeat spirits. So I am good. I am moving into the right direction, y'all. Just continue to keep your girl in prayer. But now, if you don't pray to Jesus, please don't keep me in prayer. Okay? Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's who I go to. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm your girl. Thank you, Renata, for coming on. Again, we appreciate the conversation. I'm your girl. This is Outside the Box. I'm TY Lisa, and I'm out.